Old age can be one of the most fulfilling chapters of your life, but only if you avoid the mistakes that can quietly erode your happiness, health, and financial security. Many people don't realize that small habits can lead to loneliness, physical decline, and unnecessary struggles. If you've ever felt tired, discouraged, or regretted past decisions, there's a good chance you're making one of these common mistakes. In this video, I'll reveal 5 major mistakes people often make as they age, why they happen, and most importantly, how to avoid them so you can fully enjoy life. If you want to stay healthy, happy, and live without regrets, watch until the end to discover exactly what you need to change starting today. Before we begin, if you're committed to living a healthier, more fulfilling life, hit the like button to help spread this valuable knowledge. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to click subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. And if you're enjoying this content, comment 1 below to let me know you're here. If not, comment 0, and I'll work harder to bring you even better content. Let's get started. Mistake 1. Neglecting physical health. Many people believe that declining health is an inevitable part of aging, that weakness, mobility issues, and chronic illnesses are simply unavoidable. But the truth is, most of these problems aren't caused by age itself. Instead, they result from a sedentary lifestyle, poor nutrition, and years of neglecting one's health. Accepting that this is just how aging works only makes things worse. Have you noticed that getting up from a chair feels harder than before? Do you struggle to maintain balance on uneven sidewalks or when climbing stairs? Do your joints ache, or do you feel sore after simple activities that never used to bother you? These are not just signs of aging. They are warnings from your body that it's weakening due to a lack of proper care. If left unaddressed, this decline will continue, leading to reduced mobility, dependence on others, and an increased risk of dangerous falls. Take Anne, for example, a 75-year-old woman who was once very active. She walked every morning and did household chores with ease. But one long cold winter kept her indoors more than usual. Her daily walks became less frequent, and she stopped doing as much physical activity. At first, she thought she just needed some rest and would bounce back. But when spring arrived, she realized she could no longer walk as far as she used to. Her legs grew tired quickly, her knees ached, and even standing for long periods became difficult. She felt uneasy walking on uneven ground, afraid that a small misstep might cause her to fall. This fear made her even more reluctant to move, creating a cycle of declining health. It wasn't until she saw a doctor and spoke with a specialist that she realized her problem wasn't aging. It was muscle loss and reduced flexibility from inactivity. Determined to regain her strength, Anne started making small changes. She practiced balancing on one foot for a few seconds each day, used light weights to rebuild her muscles, and gradually resumed her walking routine, even if it was just for short distances at first. After a few months of consistent effort, she felt noticeably stronger, more confident in her movements, and no longer afraid to go for a walk. Good health isn't something that just happens. It's something you have to nurture and maintain. You don't need to take on intense workouts or completely overhaul your diet overnight. Small steps, like daily walks, gentle stretching, incorporating more protein and vegetables into your meals, and scheduling regular health checkups can make a huge difference. Remember, your health doesn't just affect you, it impacts your loved ones as well. Don't let neglect today turn into a burden tomorrow. Start making changes now so you can enjoy an active, independent, and fulfilling life in your later years. 2. Isolating from friends and family. Loneliness is not just a passing feeling. It can slowly eat away at your soul, draining both your mental and physical health in ways you might not even realize. The older we get, the more we tend to withdraw, believing it's just a natural part of aging. But the truth is, isolating yourself is not the best way to live. It can drag down your spirit, increase the risk of depression, accelerate memory decline, and even harm your health as much as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Is it really worth it? Just because you're hesitant to reach out, just because you think you're no longer important to others, should you really be hurting yourself like this? I know many older adults stop meeting friends, limit conversations with family, not because they don't want to, but because they assume others are too busy, too caught up in their own lives. Some don't want to bother their children, while others feel that social gatherings are no longer as enjoyable as they once were. So day after day, they get used to the silence, to the emptiness of their home, with only the television keeping them company. But do you know what's truly frightening? The longer you stay in isolation, the harder it becomes to step back out, the more difficult it is to open up. And before you know it, the golden years slip away in quiet solitude. I have a friend, Margaret, 76 years old. She used to be lively, always surrounded by friends and family. But after her husband passed away, everything changed. At first, she tried to keep up with her usual routine, but as time went on, her children became busier, and friends stopped calling as often. She started believing that maybe she was just getting old, no longer significant to anyone. So she stopped reaching out, stopped going out as much. The days turned into weeks, then months, spent in front of the television, wrapped up in a quiet world where no one really knew how she felt. Then one day, while at the grocery store, she ran into an old friend. It was just a short conversation, but it made her realize how much she had missed out on, simply because she was afraid. That moment of connection, of being heard and seen, reminded her that she wasn't forgotten. She had just distanced herself from the world. That evening, she made a decision. She picked up the phone and called her old friends. She signed up for a painting class in her neighborhood. And before long, she found herself laughing again, reconnecting with people she thought she had lost. The biggest surprise? Her family had never stopped loving her. They had simply assumed she wanted her space. But as soon as she opened up, they naturally started spending more time with her. So if you've been feeling lonely, remember, there are still people who care about you. Don't wait for others to reach out first. Sometimes, a simple message, a phone call, or an invitation for a walk can turn a dull day into something special. Join a club, meet people who share your interests, or even learn how to use your phone to stay connected with loved ones. You don't have to spend your golden years in loneliness. Open your heart, step outside, because there is still so much beauty and joy waiting for you. If you're still watching this video and find these insights valuable, comment 2 below to let me know you're with me on this journey toward a healthier, more vibrant, and more meaningful life. 3. Refusing to adapt to change. Change is inevitable, yet the older we get, the more we cling to what's familiar. We like doing things the way we always have, thinking, I've lived this way my whole life, why change now? But have you ever wondered if resisting change is actually making life more difficult? Could it be that by refusing to adapt, we're unintentionally distancing ourselves from the world around us? I know there are many things we don't want to deal with, especially technology. Smartphones, computers, video calls. It all seems too complicated, like something that has nothing to do with us. But think about it. If we don't learn to use these tools, how can we easily stay in touch with our grandchildren? How can we read the news quickly or book doctor's appointments without waiting on hold for hours? And then there's finances. Many people still insist on using cash, avoiding online banking, only to fall victim to scams or unnecessary risks simply because they don't know how to protect their money in today's world. And most importantly, health. Some refuse to try modern treatments, believing that new medications can't be trusted, when in reality, medical advancements have made it possible for us to live healthier, longer lives. I have a friend, Tom, 78, who absolutely hated smartphones. He held on to his old flip phone, refusing to install any apps, convinced that they were only for young people. When his grandchildren sent him messages, he never received them. When the family had video calls, he sat alone, feeling left out. But one day, he missed his bus and needed a taxi, only to realize that everyone else was booking rides through an app. That day, it hit him. His stubbornness was making life harder, not easier. After that, he decided to give change a chance. He asked his son to teach him how to use a smartphone, how to make video calls, and how to read news online. At first, it was frustrating, but within weeks, it became second nature. Now, he can call his granddaughter whenever he wants, never misses an important message, and even books doctor's appointments online, instead of waiting at the clinic for hours. Most importantly, he no longer feels left behind. I know, change isn't always easy, but trust me, it's not as scary as you think. Learning a new skill, trying a modern healthcare approach, or simply getting familiar with a new piece of technology isn't about losing yourself. It's about keeping your life independent and fulfilling. If something makes you hesitate, take a step forward instead of holding back. You might just find that life becomes a whole lot easier and even more exciting than you ever expected. 4. Mismanaging finances. Money is always a sensitive topic, but there's one truth we all have to face. Without a solid financial plan, retirement can become a burden rather than a time to enjoy life. Many people believe that once they retire, they can spend freely because they've saved for years. But the reality is, money doesn't regenerate itself, and if not managed carefully, it can disappear much faster than you expect. Too many retirees find themselves relying on their children or struggling with unexpected debt simply because they didn't prepare adequately for their financial future. Think about it. Have you ever heard someone say they don't need to worry about money in retirement, only to find out a few years later that their savings are dwindling? It's more common than you might think. When you have a steady paycheck, you don't always notice every little expense. But once you retire, everything changes. Without a clear plan, medical costs, daily living expenses, and even small routine purchases can gradually drain your bank account. Take my friend James, for example. At 74, he had just retired and was financially comfortable. He believed he had saved enough and wanted to enjoy life. He traveled, dined out frequently, and generously bought gifts for his grandchildren without giving it much thought. Life was good until the unexpected happened. One day he was diagnosed with a condition that required long-term treatment. Medical bills began piling up, and his savings started disappearing faster than he ever imagined. He had never considered setting aside a separate fund for healthcare expenses. And suddenly, he found himself relying on his children for financial support, something he had never wanted. Beyond spending habits, another major financial risk for seniors is falling victim to scams. Fraudsters often target older adults with tempting offers, high-return investments, free government benefits, or even fake calls from the bank requesting personal information. Many people lose their entire life savings simply because they trusted the wrong person. Even more heartbreaking, sometimes the scammer is someone they know and trust. That's why it's crucial to stay alert and never make financial decisions without thoroughly researching them. The good news is that these mistakes can be avoided. The key is to have a clear financial plan. Budget wisely for every stage of retirement, consider future healthcare costs, and most importantly, rely only on credible financial advice. If possible, consult with a financial advisor to ensure your money is managed wisely and securely. Money isn't everything, but it gives you the independence and freedom to live comfortably in your later years. Don't wait until it's too late to realize you weren't prepared. A strong financial plan today can save you from unnecessary stress in the future, allowing you to truly enjoy your golden years. without the weight of financial worries holding you back. If you're still watching this video and find these insights valuable, comment 4 below to let me know you're with me on this journey toward a healthier, more vibrant, and more meaningful life. 5. Ignoring mental growth and purpose. One thing no one tells you about retirement is this. If you don't have something to look forward to every day, life starts to feel empty. Without work to keep you busy, without responsibilities to manage, many older adults find themselves lost, unsure of what to do with their time. And this is one of the biggest mistakes, letting personal growth retire along with your career. We often think that the most important thing in old age is physical health. But in reality, mental health is just as crucial. If the mind isn't stimulated, it slows down. If life has no purpose, the days begin to feel meaningless. Countless studies have shown that seniors who continue learning, creating, and engaging in meaningful activities live longer, are happier, and are less likely to experience memory decline. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly excited about something? When you were younger, life was full of new experiences, learning a new skill, pursuing a hobby, setting goals to work toward. But as people age, many assume they no longer need to learn. "I'm too old for that," they say. But this mindset leads to boredom, isolation, and a gradual loss of mental agility. Take my friend Margaret, for example. She's 71 years old. When she first retired, she was thrilled to finally have time to relax, free from the pressures of work. But within a few months, every day started to feel the same. She would wake up, make coffee, watch TV, and go to bed. There was nothing to look forward to, nothing to keep her engaged. The days passed quietly, and she began to feel invisible. One day, while passing by a local community center, she noticed a piano class for seniors. She had always loved music, but never had the chance to learn an instrument. At first, she hesitated, thinking it was too late to start. But after some encouragement, she decided to give it a try. And something incredible happened. Every morning, she woke up excited for her next lesson. She made friends with others who shared her interests, exchanged fascinating stories, and felt a renewed sense of purpose. Most importantly, she realized that age is never a barrier to personal growth. If your days have started to feel monotonous, find something that sparks joy again. It could be learning a new language, writing, joining a book club, or simply revisiting an old passion you never had time for. Don't let your mind retire while there's still so much left to explore. Because in the end, what matters most isn't how old you are, it's whether you're truly living. Who hasn't made mistakes, right? But the beauty of life is that we always have the chance to change, no matter our age. If you've realized that you've fallen into one of these traps, neglecting your health, isolating yourself, resisting change, mismanaging finances, or losing your sense of purpose, this is your moment to adjust. Trust me, it's never too late to make your life better. Start with small steps. Walk a little more, call an old friend, try something new, or simply take a moment to reflect on what truly matters to you. Every step counts, and the most important thing is that you still have time to make a difference. If this video made you think, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss more meaningful content. Let's make this chapter of life the best one yet.